So Yair Rodriguez just defeated Josh Emmett in the co-main event of UFC 284. It was an amazing fight while it lasted. Yair Rodriguez looked incredible. Josh Emmett, he still has that power that everybody is scared of, and he actually did hurt Yair Rodriguez on some occasions. But for the most part, Yair Rodriguez was winning this fight. And it was a pretty interesting fight because Yair Rodriguez is striking. It's just incredible. The way he's able to just, the southpaw kicks that were coming back at Josh Emmett was incredible, and it was hitting Josh Emmett horribly to the body, and Josh Emmett was forced to just cover up at some points. He was hitting a southpaw switch kick, and then he would hit the left hand right into Josh Emmett's head. It was a very crazy combination, very cool. And it hurt Josh Emmett on multiple occasions. And then when Yair Rodriguez would chase down Josh Emmett, it led to Yair Rodriguez actually paying the price and getting caught by Josh Emmett. For some reason, Josh Emmett just has crazy power. I don't know what it is, but Josh Emmett just has that power. And I actually thought that Josh Emmett could do it. My prediction was Yair Rodriguez, if you go back and watch that video. But I did think Josh Emmett had a very good chance in this fight, and it looked like it when he hurt Josh Emmett and he followed him to the ground. I know most people scored that round for Yair Rodriguez because he did, in fact, hurt Josh Emmett. But Josh Emmett did some pretty good work in that round. And I thought that since Yair Rodriguez had been finished before, pre-UFC, I know he has a great chin, and he showed that in the Max Holloway fight. But he got dominated by Frankie Edgar in their fight. So I didn't see really, I could see him really getting knocked out because of the power. So now he's 15-3, right? He's moving on another win. That's 2 fights in a row since that Max Holloway fight. And then before that, obviously the Jeremy Stevens fight. He's only really lost that Max Holloway fight, and that's his only loss since 2018. You know what I mean? He hasn't lost since the last time he lost was Frankie Edgar, if you're taking out, Max Holloway. So incredible streak that Yair Rodriguez is on. He's looking as good as always. That's why I think people want to see him against Volkanovski, right? This was a #1 contender's bout, obviously. It's a glorified #1 contender. You don't really feel like Yair Rodriguez is some big champion because Volkanovski, where you're seeing him fight, it's just he's not fighting for the 145-pound title. I don't think they should do anything where, they make Yair defend the interim title while Volkanovski goes and does this second fight. I think Volkanovski will be able to return probably sometime in August or June or July, sometime this summer. I could really see Volkanovski returning quick, even though he was hurt on multiple occasions in that Islam Makhachev fight. I do see him returning this summertime, because I do see him wanting to be active and then maybe going back up and challenging for the title by the end of the year. That's actually what I see happening. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup and very intriguing for multiple of reasons. I see a lot of people saying, oh, Max Holloway beats Yair Rodriguez and Volkanovski outstruck Max Holloway, right? So they're thinking that that Yair Rodriguez has no chance in this fight. However, Yair Rodriguez doesn't have the same style as Max Holloway. For as much as people like to compare them, their styles are not actually that similar, right? They're both great strikers, but Max Holloway is more of a boxer, right? He gets in there and he's able to outbox his opponents. Yair Rodriguez is able to get in there and absolutely land crazy kicks on his opponents. And we've seen Volkanovski can actually get caught with some of these head kicks. He got caught at UFC 251 when he got dropped in the second round by Max Holloway. We also saw it in the Islam Makhachev fight when he got caught in the second round of their fight by Islam Makhachev. So you do see this sometimes with Volkanovski, although, obviously in the Islam fight he was afraid of the grappling, so that's very much understandable. And I just see this fight being very good. I think a lot of people are giving Yair Rodriguez no shot in this fight, although I think he does have a pretty good shot in this fight. And I think if he's able to keep Volkanovski at distance and just piece him up, he can probably win this fight from the outside, never actually having to engage. And I do think he can hurt Volkanovski. That's the difference here. I do think he has very good power, and I think he can hurt Volkanovski. And that fight was just incredible because Yair Rodriguez went in there against Josh Emmett, and a lot of power coming back at him. And I don't think he would have ever been clipped if he had just sat on the outside. He actually went in and traded in the pocket with Josh Emmett, which actually led to him getting rocked. But then in that second round, he was able to find that triangle choke, which was just incredible, able to lock it up and locked it up very tight. So incredible work from Yair Rodriguez. Very fun fighter. It's going to be very cool to see where he goes from this. And, it's going to be very interesting to see that title shot against Alexander Volkanovski. And as for Josh Emmett, right, Because Josh Emmett, he's getting up there in age, right? He's 37 years old, okay? So Josh Emmett, he's getting older. He's not going to be that around for that much longer. I don't believe he'll get another title shot, although I do believe he's a very good fighter and very skilled and very talented. I just don't see him getting another title shot now. I just think once you're 38 years old and your winning streak is snapped by a young guy, I just don't see him beating, Max Holloway, Arnold Allen, any of those guys at the top. He put together a very lucky win streak where he was given very, very nice decisions. I don't feel like his fights were robberies, but I do feel like he was gifted nice decisions, I'll say that. So, I think those were good decisions for him, and I don't see him putting a win streak like that again together. I think he was fighting the perfect guys, Calvin Kattar, Dan Ige, Shane Burgos, that type of fighter. Even the Michael Johnson fight he was losing, and the Mirzad Beltic fight, that was a good fight, but I mean, what does that really mean? That was a 5-fight win streak, but now it's all snapped, and it's just like when he lost to Jeremy Stephens. He was able to regroup from that because that was back in 2018. That's 4 or 5 years ago. He's really up there in age now, and once you're at that 37-year-old age, I mean, unless you're Conor McGregor or some big name, or unless you put together a crazy win streak like Glover Teixeira did, especially in those lighter weight classes, man, it's gonna be very hard. So I don't personally see Josh Emmett getting back to a title shot, especially anytime soon. But that doesn't mean he still can't have a good career. But I doubt that is what the UFC is going to do for him. I think the UFC now, they realize Josh Emmett's not a popular guy, right? He doesn't have, doesn't have Mexico behind him like Yair Rodriguez. He's not a flashy guy like Yair Rodriguez. He doesn't talk trash like some of these other guys. He's just kind of Josh Emmett. You know what I mean? He's just kind of that nice guy, and you don't want him to beat up your contenders, right? Or you just don't feel like you kind of want to feed him to the contenders is kind of what I'm saying here. So the fights that I see him fighting, I could see them feeding him to Ilia Topuria or Movsar Evloev, right? Those are two undefeated guys that are really highly ranked now, and with one more win, those guys could get the title shot. I could see them doing Josh Emmett versus Yair Rodriguez or Josh Emmett versus Ilia Topuria on some fight on probably like a pay-per-view main card, and then I see the winner of that fighting Brian Ortega, and then the winner of that goes for a title. So I think Ilia Topuria or Movsar Evloev are very close to that title fight because that title picture is getting cleared out by Volkanovski. So those are the fights I would like to see. I don't think they're not gonna give him a Max Holloway or a Chan Sung Jung or some fight where he could go out there and debatably win. They don't want him to win against Chan Sung Jung or anything like that. That's not the fight they want him set up. They want to set him up against some type of contender. I could even see him being Giga Chikadze's comeback fight, right? Giga Chikadze hasn't fought since he took that loss, right, to Calvin Kattar. So I could see him coming back and fighting Josh Emmett. Let me know what you guys thought about this fight. Let me know what you guys think is next for both of these fighters. What do you think of the entire fight, by the way? Peace out.